Hey guys, in this video it's going to be really exciting to talk about human attention and attention span, because most riders are humans at the moment. And I made this whiteboard ready here, and in case you didn't know it, the average human has about 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day. And now hang on, this is surprising. According to this study I found on Google, 80% of the thoughts of average people are negative. And, hold on, this is gonna be wild, 95% of thoughts are repetitive. So when thoughts are repetitive, this also means that your riding habits are repetitive, and that's why it's so hard to learn new riding skills and change your riding habits. But it is definitely possible, and in this video we're gonna talk about the easiest way to learn new skills and how to do this by using the knowledge of human attention. Your thinking patterns are extremely habitual. Even though I think I do not fall into this category, because I have a lot of positive thinking patterns, I think, and I'm generally happy and excited about life. Also because I practice journaling, but that's another story. Check out my other YouTube channel called Top 100 Habits with Toby for more about that. But now let's talk about, on this side here, I lined up what I think most riders, and especially entry-level riders, they make the mistake of focusing on when they're riding, like what's on their attention when they're riding. And then over here, I'm going to go through the more optimal thinking patterns or way of using your attention when you're riding. And then, as you can maybe see here in the middle, there's a circle of attention. And I'll explain you a bit about how this diagram works. And it's extremely simple, actually. If this circle represents your attention, the human attention is usually at any given point in time able to contain one thought at a time, okay? Usually this thought is accompanied or followed by a feeling. So if you're thinking about something nice, you are also having an emotion that is connected to that thing that you are thinking about. Later we'll talk about how when you're training skills specifically, you have to have focus on being intentional of that thought or that skill that you're training and not be too emotional. And then we'll talk about how on the really high level of riding, you have to be in tune with your feelings and feeling the bike and feeling the track. So at the higher levels, when you've already learned all the skills, when you're going really, really fast, you need to have a more feeling-based attention style, so to speak. Your attention will be more into feeling things and receiving information through the bike and the track and your vision than actually thinking. We'll get into that later, okay? But now let's talk about how most people and how most beginner and intermediate riders are probably thinking when they're riding, and it's gonna be a little bit funny. So over here we have probably the number one mindset or a thing that you have on your attention, on your mind when you're riding, that is to just go fast without any plan. It's just like full knucklehead, just get out there and go fast. And then of course, the goal is always to get better and faster and ride safer and look more professional. But simply going fast will only get you that far because you need actually intentional skill training to improve your technique drastically. Okay. Now, the second most normal thing I think on motocross tracks is a different version of going fast, but it's more like trying to keep up with another rider. Because on any given motocross track, there's always only one guy who's the fastest guy. And then there's the second fastest and the third fastest and so on and so forth. So a lot of the riders on tracks, they're just, you know, they know who is slightly faster than them. And then when they end up on the track near this guy, they're just going to try to keep up, which is completely normal. It's I think, a part of human nature to be competitive. But in that case, you're also not able to focus on your skill development if you just always fall into this pattern of just trying to keep up and trying to go fast. And then the third thing is also a little bit funny, and that is riders that focus on trying to look cool or look like they're really fast or look pro or give it a lot of gas, make it sound like the bike is going fast, but actually not really focusing on any skill progress or drills, anything targeted. So it's just like kind of an external focus. Oh, are people looking at me? Oh, there's some people taking pictures of me. Oh, I'm gonna do something cool or something, you know, instead of focusing on your riding. So these are the three different mistakes that I think are very common. Now let's talk about how attention actually works. Okay, I made this drawing. So there are different inputs to your attention. So you have your vision, and that's like one of the main inputs to your attention. So you pay attention to what you see through your eyes. So you have vision input to your attention. Then you have sensory input, and that is what you can feel with your hands and your feet and your legs. So you're supposed to feel the bike and feel the track through the bike when you're riding. So that's sensory input. Then you have hearing. You can also hear other riders around you when you're riding, right? You can hear if a rider is approaching you behind you that is faster than you. And then you have maybe one of the most important inputs of your attention is from your memory, is from your internal database. So this is basically input to your attention that comes from the mind itself. It could be memories, things that pop up that you think about. Oh, I have to buy this. I have to remember to say this when I get on the podium. Or it could also be self-talk, like an inner dialogue of like, hey, you can do this. And hey, don't forget to clear this jump. And hey, remember to take this line in this turn. So it's the inner dialogue. That's a really big factor that we're also going to talk about soon. So from all these input into your attention, you have this constant stream of thoughts going through your attention. And what characterizes thoughts is that when you're intentional about your thoughts, it's a slow process to go through the thoughts step by step, but each feeling is automatic. The feeling patterns, they appear automatic and very quick. We'll talk more about later how that can be a benefit when you need to go really fast. Okay, so now we've talked a lot about how to not do and how the attention gets input from different sources. And now we're going to talk about how you can use this for correct practice by utilizing your knowledge of human attention to train correctly. Okie dokie. So, most importantly, if you need to learn new skills, I recommend you to train only one skill at a time. And the reason for that is it's going to be really easy to repeat to yourself through intentional thought that, hey, remember to only focus on this skill. And then you also ingrain it deeper into your neurological pathways. You're basically creating and building, reinforcing a new neural network through neuroplasticity in your brain. Okay, that was hard to say. Okay, so choose only one skill at a time. And when you're training a new skill, don't go as fast as you can, but choose to go anywhere between 70% to 99% of your maximum speed, so that you are sure that you're not putting yourself in danger, but more importantly, so you're sure to have more of your mental capacity available to remind yourself of this skill or drill that you're training. Okay? So when you're training skills or drills, focus on only one thing at a time, and then take a break and then go out and do another session where you maybe train another drill or another skill. Okay? So you have to be very intentional with your thought patterns when you're training skills and drills. Okay? And it's not that important what you are feeling in most cases. Now, let's talk about how it's different when you're actually training race pace. When you're training race pace, meaning you're going at around 99% or 100% of your max capacity, or 95 if you choose. Okay, but you get the point. Then your goal is different. Your goal setting will be more related to how you feel on the bike. Let me explain. When you go out to train race practice or race pace, your goal, and you can repeat this to yourself as a goal setting before you go out and ride, is to stay loose and smooth, like feel the looseness in the right places of the body and feel the smoothness, hit the smooth lines, feel the traction, feel the effortlessness of your body mechanics working. You're supposed to know correct riding technique before you do this. So it's a lot more related to paying attention to the feelings and receiving information from your body and the bike. So basically the bike is an extension of the body at the high level of riding. So you're supposed to focus on the information you're receiving, and also, like, of course, your eye work, where you look at the track, you're also receiving information and feeling how that matches together with your body mechanics and executing right line choices and power delivery, and feeling how the bike connects with the track and works with the track, with the suspension and stuff. Okay, so in other words, there's two completely different ways you can choose to pay attention, or two different modes of attention, depending on if you're practicing skills and drills, where it's thought dominant, and if you are practicing race pace or really high speed riding, where you're not making any progress in specific skills, but you're spending time getting into that flow or that zone of feeling the bike and how the bike reacts, okay? So now we've gone through the most basic differences in two different attention modes and two different ways you can train, okay? Now I'll give you an analogy that explains high-level riding really well, in my opinion. And this analogy, I call it an attention sandwich, or the music dancing analogy, okay? And it goes like this. So riding motocross on a really high level is very similar to dancing to music with a partner, okay? And the reason for this is the music represents the motocross track, and you know what's coming up in the music, you know the songs, so you're able to move relaxed in a way that is synchronized with the music, even before it happens. So even before the turn comes to you, or you arrive at the turn, you're already aware of how it should feel to ride it effortlessly and smooth, because you know it already. It's the same with the music. And then in this analogy, the bike represents your dancing partner. If you know your dancing partner really well, which you should do with your bike, you should know it very well, then you know exactly how it reacts, and you are able to go through the motions with the track and the bike in the most effortless way possible, without fighting the bike or using any excess energy. It's all just done in the most effortless and precise way possible, without any surprises. That is how high-level riding should be done. And it's a good way to, and a beautiful way to understand it, I think. Lastly, I want to know in the comments if you think this was interesting, and if you're gonna go out and do something different on your next practice. So maybe on your next practice you will go out and train a skill, just one skill or one drill intentionally. And then also you can try to go out and do an intentional fun ride moto, where you say like, okay, in this moto I'm just gonna focus on just having fun without any skills, or just going fast. So you can try to have like a thought dominant moto where you go through skills and drills, and then also just have some fun fast motos where you focus on feeling effortless and feeling the body position work, and riding as effortless and smooth as possible. If you want to understand riding technique better, then you should consider becoming a channel member and clicking that join button below. And thereby, if you join at the physics of riding technique level, you will get access to my 40 body position program. But in any case, thank you for watching, and see you on the next one. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I forget to say this sometimes, but like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. To watch the full version of my advanced riding videos and support the development of this channel, click the join button below and become a member. And thereby you will get access to exclusive videos where I go through the most advanced skill levels, and also explaining things from a physics standpoint, because I have a background in science and thereby studying physics. So I'm able to explain actual riding technique and the mechanics of riding, also bike setup, in a way that you don't see on many other channels. Also, I share my own step-by-step methods on how I track my own progress and riding technique development. So if you're interested in that, consider becoming a member and clicking the join button. And if you like tropical island holidays, visit fitcamp5.com for my 2-time TripAdvisor award-winning training camp, where we train fitness and action sports together while learning to live a healthy lifestyle, and maybe most importantly, have fun at the same time. And if you're really serious about improving yourself, you should definitely check out my full online courses, where I share step-by-step programs on how I developed my own routines over the last 12 years as a CEO, working in 4 different countries, while being a successful competitive athlete with more than 20 years of experience in fitness and nutrition. Check the link in the description for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, be awesome, believe in yourself, and see you on the next one.